I tried to build a consistent exercise habit 3 times before it actually stuck. The first time, I signed up for a gym, bought new shoes, went 4 times in the first week, and then never went back. The second time, I committed to waking up at 5 a.m. to work out before my day started. That lasted maybe 9 days. The third time, I downloaded a running app and set a goal of running 5 kilometers 3 times a week. I ran twice. And here's the thing, I kept telling myself each time, I just need more discipline. I just need to want it more. I'm lazy. That was wrong. Every single time, it wasn't a discipline problem, it was a design problem. And the night I finally understood that distinction, everything about how I build habits changed. Most people, and I was absolutely one of them, believe that if a habit doesn't stick, it's a character flaw. Not enough willpower, not enough motivation, not serious enough about the goal. Behavioral science disagrees entirely. Habits don't fail because you're weak, habits fail because they're designed badly. And when you design a habit correctly, when you understand how the brain actually encodes repeated behavior, sticking to it stops feeling like a constant battle. It starts to happen almost automatically. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how that works. The neuroscience, the framework, and the practical setup. Not motivational slogans, not just believe in yourself advice. Real mechanisms, with real examples from how I actually run my life across my businesses and across different countries right now. Let's get into it. In 2012, journalist Charles Duhigg published a book called The Power of Habit, and he laid out a model that neuroscientists had been building for years, the habit loop. It's 3 parts: cue, routine, reward. The cue is the trigger, something in your environment or your internal state that tells your brain this behavior is about to happen. The routine is the behavior itself, what you actually do. The reward is the payoff, the thing your brain gets out of it, which is what makes it want to repeat the loop next time. Now, here's the critical point. When most people try to build a habit, they think entirely about the routine. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to write in my journal. They skip the cue. They skip the reward. The gym habit, I kept failing. I had no cue. I was relying on general intention. I'll go sometime today. That is not a cue, that is a wish. And there's a second reason most habits fail early. People start too big. Your brain doesn't build habits from large, effortful actions. It builds them from small, repeated loops. Dr. B.J. Fogg is a behavioral scientist at Stanford, and his research, which became the book Tiny Habits, makes this case more clearly than anyone I've read. The smaller the habit, the faster it encodes. Not because tiny habits are impressive, but because your brain doesn't resist them. That phrase stopped me cold when I first read it. A well-designed habit doesn't need you to feel motivated to fire. It fires because the conditions for it exist. The exercise habit that finally stuck for me, I stopped trying to commit to going to the gym. I committed to one thing only, put on my runners. That's it. That was the habit. The gear was on, and almost every single time, the gear being on was enough to trigger the next step. James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, calls this the 2-minute rule. If a new habit takes more than 2 minutes to perform, shrink it until it does. Go for a run becomes put on my running shoes. Read for 30 minutes becomes read 1 page. Meditate becomes sit down, close my eyes, take 3 breaths. The point is not that you'll only ever do 2 minutes. The point is that the 2-minute version never fails to start. And starting is the hardest part. Quick pause before we get into what I think is the most powerful habit building technique I've ever used. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. I break down one life skill every week on this channel. Productivity systems, decision making, how to actually build a better life. Now, habit stacking. Here's the single most effective technique I've found for actually making a new habit stick. Attach it to a habit you already have. The reason this works so well goes back to the habit loop. An existing habit is already a strong neural pathway. The cue fires reliably. The behavior executes automatically. The reward is already wired in. When you stack a new habit onto that existing pathway, you're essentially borrowing its trigger. Let's look at some examples. After I make my morning coffee, I will write one thing I'm grateful for. After I sit down at my desk, I will review my 3 priorities for the day. After I brush my teeth at night, I will read for 10 minutes. In my Notion Life OS system, the system I use to run my daily and weekly routines, I have a morning stack I've been running consistently for over a year. It starts with coffee. After I start the coffee, I open my Notion dashboard. That's the trigger. The whole morning routine starts from there. When you're choosing what to stack on, pick the anchor habit carefully. Same time, same place, every single day. No exception. Find your anchor, then stack deliberately. Everything I've covered so far is mechanics. There's a layer underneath the mechanics that determines whether a habit becomes truly permanent. It's not a technique, it's a shift in how you see yourself. James Clear's argument in Atomic Habits: most people build habits from the outside in. They start with an outcome and work backwards. Outcome-based motivation is fragile. The moment the outcome feels far away, the whole thing will collapse. Identity-based habits work from the inside out. The question isn't what do I want to achieve? The question is who do I want to become? I'm trying to exercise is a goal. I'm someone who moves every day is an identity. One relies on motivation, the other is something you protect because it's part of who you are. Every time you perform a habit, you are casting a vote for the identity you're building. You put on your workout gear, you vote. You write that one line of gratitude, vote. You read one page before bed, vote. No single vote decides an election, but thousands of votes in the same direction, that's who you become. Pick one habit you want to build. Write an identity statement for the person you're becoming. Not, I want to become a consistent reader. Write it as, I'm someone who reads every day. Read that statement before you do the habit. Every time. You're telling your brain before the behavior who is doing this and why. Do that consistently and the habit stops being something you do. It becomes something you are. Jerry Seinfeld had a method for writing jokes every day. He hung a big calendar on his wall. Every day he put a red X on that day. The goal became, don't break the chain. Tracking creates a secondary reward, the satisfaction of making it done, the satisfaction of marking it done. That little dopamine hit when you tick the box is real and it compounds. I track habits in Notion. Simple database, a checkbox for each day. The medium doesn't matter, the visual record does. There's one rule that matters more than everything else in habit tracking. Never miss twice. Missing once is human. Life happens. But the second miss is where the new bad habit starts forming. Missing once is an event, missing twice is the beginning of a pattern. When you break a streak, the comeback ritual. 3 steps. Acknowledge it, don't minimize it, don't make it a catastrophe. Don't spiral. One bad day is not evidence that you're a failure. Restart today, not Monday, not next week, today. Step 1, pick one habit, not 5, but 1. When the first one is automatic, then add the next one. Step 2, make it tiny, apply the 2-minute rule. Shrink the habit until it takes 2 minutes or less. This is your entry version, the version you do on your worst days. Step 3, stack it on an existing habit. Write the formula. After I will, fill in the first blank with a habit you already do every single day. Step 4, track it visually. A checkbox in Notion, a calendar on your wall, a dot in your journal. Build the chain, then protect it. Step 5, write your identity statement. 1 sentence, present tense, I'm someone who. Read it before you perform the habit. 5 steps, 1 habit at a time, tiny version, stack it, track it, claim the identity. A system is exactly what makes this reliable, not motivation, not willpower, not having a perfect week. So here's your challenge for tonight. Not next week, tonight. Pick one habit you've been trying to build. Write down the 2-minute version of it. Write the habit stack formula. After I will. And write your identity statement. 1 sentence, present tense for the person who already has this habit. Then do it once tonight. Just once. That 1 repetition is the first vote. That's how this starts. If this was useful, I'd really appreciate a like. It genuinely helps this video reach more people who need it. There are 2 books I'd put in everyone's hands: Atomic Habits by James Clear and Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. Both linked in the description. On this channel, I break down one life skill every week so you can build a better life. One conversation, one habit, one system at a time. That's what Digital Perivalon is about. Life, knowledge, productivity. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.